Hey everybody, it's Wednesday, and that means I'm on the website. And if you haven't gotten on my website, then you're really missing out because there's like chat rooms and forums and messages, and you can make friends, and it's wonderful. So I'm on there. Now I was also on YouTube, so if you asked your questions using the hashtag KatieFAQ, I may have even already answered them. Sometimes I amaze myself. Not really, but I answered some questions already, and then I have 4, and they're actually pretty long today, so I've cut out the journal topic. I know some of you get very upset about that, but I'm sorry. These are good questions, but they're just more lengthy, so I want to make sure I keep this under, I don't want to make my videos like 20 minutes. That's craziness. So, first question. Hi, Katie. How do you stop yourself from being triggered by your recovery? When I was in school, I was bullied extensively, most of which I suppressed. I'm finally starting to open up and talk to my therapist about it, but it's bringing back a lot of negative feelings, and I've also began to use old coping skills, self-harm mainly. Do you think there's a way to separate my daily life, or to separate your daily life from the emotions you explore within therapy? It's really difficult, especially at the beginning. And what you're experiencing is very normal. Things that we stuffed for a really long time, they're coming up. We're talking about them, and we don't really have any new coping skills. And so there are a couple things that I would recommend. The first thing, being honest with your therapist. Let them know, in between sessions, I'm just feeling really overwhelmed. It may be a good time to double up on your sessions if that's something that's available to you. Oftentimes my clients are really struggling. I'll either see them twice a week, or we'll try to get them involved in a group. And it just gives you a little bit more support, a little more of an outlet in the in-between times, between sessions. And it kind of can sometimes keep us going. Another thing that I would recommend is trying out new coping skills. Do you want to try to paint? Try to paint. You want to try learn to play the guitar? Learn to play the guitar. You want to sing? Sing. You want to dance? Dance. Do something that gives you an outlet. Something that makes you feel like for me, to be truthful and to be 100% honest, baking is really cathartic to me. It doesn't even matter if I'm like baking meatballs or if I'm baking like banana bread. Just something about putting things together and then coming out and then be able to share it with Sean and my friends and stuff. I love that kind of stuff, and that feels really good to me. So find one of those things that feels really good to you, and then try to make time, maybe every day for like 20 minutes or whatever, depending on what it is and how long it takes. But try to make time to give yourself an outlet so that you don't feel that such feelings of overwhelm. And if any of you have worked on this and gone through it, as always leave your helpful hints and comments below. Okay? I hope that helps a little bit. I know it's really hard, but it will get better. I promise. Question number 2. Now this is a really long one, and there's actually 2 questions within this because it's a topic I want to talk about. I would really appreciate if you would read this and answer. I am. So when I first started recovery from my eating disorder and depression, I went to one therapist, and I didn't feel like we meshed well. So after 3 sessions, I couldn't even bring myself to tell her I wasn't coming back. I just never scheduled another session, which is actually okay, as long as you didn't schedule one and miss them, right? Well, on Friday at yoga class that I've been going to for a few weeks now, she just walked in, and I felt so awkward. Like, is she mad at me? And she was right behind me in class, so I felt like she was just staring at me the entire time. Ooh, that would ruin my yoga experience. I really loved the yoga class until now, but now that she showed up to it and apparently has been going to this yoga studio for a long time, I kind of feel scared to go back, kind of like I felt about going to school every day when I was being bullied. What should I do? How do I handle this? Should I find a new studio, keep going to this place and act like I don't even know her? I know she recognized me. I just feel horrible and embarrassed. Like everyone in the yoga studio is going to find out that I'm in therapy for an eating disorder, depression, and like everyone's going to look at me funny. So I'm going to be some sort of freak. Please help. And then the second question, which is a similar topic, said, hey, Katie, I have an appointment with an LPC, which I'm assuming some kind of counselor. I don't know all the acronyms all the time because we don't use that in my area. On Friday, I was wondering if it's really okay for me to see her as my therapist because she used to be my Girl Scout troop leader when I was in middle school. Is it okay to her a past relationship with a therapist before seeing them? I guess, is it okay to have a past relationship? Okay, so the whole question around these are dealing with what we call in the therapy world dual relationships. So you may have seen a therapist, like the first question, you've seen a therapist and didn't really work out, and you just never made another appointment. And that's okay. Is she mad at you? No. She may be curious as to why you didn't, or if there's, but that happens a lot, to be truthful, okay? So don't think that we take offense to it. It's not that kind of relationship. And will anybody at the yoga studio know that you're in therapy? Hell no. And if they do, then you can actually file a report because it's illegal for us to break confidentiality, illegal and unethical, to random people. Because when you come into therapy, as a therapist, we hold your confidentiality, right? You'd have to sign a release for us to tell anybody about it. So go to your yoga class. And if you run into her, it's actually up to you to even say anything. As a therapist, if I run into a client, and I'll even tell them this, if I see you out at the grocery store, at the coffee shop, I'm not going to say hi. It's up to you to say hi, because let's say I do come up and I'm like, hey, good to see you. They're like, how the hell do you know that person? And then you have to either lie, or then you have to say, I'm seeing a therapist, which you may not want to say. It might be like you're with your boss or something, And so that would be against, the rules for me. I'm supposed to hold your confidentiality. So I might look at you like I've run into clients out at bars. I've run into clients at restaurants. I've run into clients everywhere. And it honestly always catches me by surprise. And I probably give them one of these looks, like you double take and you're like, and you don't do anything. And then I walk away all awkward like, but it's up to them to approach me. And a lot of them do. And they're like, hey, Katie, blah. So there's that. As far as the second question, the past relationship, if it's okay with you and it's okay with them, because you don't have that relationship anymore, so it's fine, as long as you're okay with it. If it makes you uncomfortable and you're like, I don't know, and if you don't want that, then find someone else. But if it doesn't bother you, then I say go for it. Maybe if she's a good Girl Scout troop leader, then maybe she'll also be a great therapist, right? We've all held odd jobs. So anyway, you can definitely do that. Okay? Question number 3. I've been in therapy for a few months and my eating has gotten better. Woohoo! Well, I'm not purging anymore, but my depression has gotten a little better as well, though neither me nor my therapist know why, because I've never attempted to address emotions and such. But currently, I'm at a loss for therapy goals. Like, I know I'm not where I want to be, but at the same time, I don't want to change anything. Does that mean that I should take a break from therapy until I find more motivation/reason to go? Not at all. This happens all the time. And in therapy, in the therapy world of therapists talking psychobabble, we use terms like resistance, and that's the most common. There's a lot of other terms that I could throw out, but that just will confuse us all. So resistance. Resistance is honestly something, it's just like what it sounds. We're resisting help, and we're not doing it consciously. We're doing it subconsciously. And our depression and our eating disorder, our self-harm, whatever it is we're struggling with is really tricky, because at first it'll be like, it'll flare up when it thinks we're going to get help. It's like, oh my gosh, no. And it'll get really bad. And then sometimes it'll be even sneakier, and then it will pretend that it's getting better. But we know it's not, because we haven't done anything. Like you're saying, I haven't really worked on anything, but I'm not where I want to be. So what do? It's honestly, and I don't know, this is kind of the work of your therapist. We're supposed to push you. We're supposed to find those buttons that are holding the key to this resistance that you don't know what's going on, and ask you about it. Like, one particular client of mine comes to mind, and she was talking about, I remember even when she first came to see me, I'm not going to talk about da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da. There were certain things. And I'm like, okay. But in my head, I'm taking notes, because I'm like, these are the things we're going to have to talk about. And she had a much more conscious, I guess she was consciously aware of the fact that she was resisting, but that's kind of what's happening. So I would tell your therapist how you're feeling. I'd be honest about the fact you feel like you're not getting anywhere, and it's been a long time, and you know you're not working on things, but you don't know why. And I would say, is this resistance that I'm dealing with? Because I know people do that, and just see where it goes from there. And you may want to start journaling and kind of venting things out and see where that leads, because that might give you a key as well. But don't give up. We can break through it. And no matter if you switch therapists or terminate, the problems will still be there and the resistance will still be there. So this is a great learning thing for us to get through, okay? Question number 4. Got to scroll down. These questions were long, so I got to scroll. Okay. So about 7 months ago, I lost my father to a combination of mental and physical illness. There was a lot of stress in our family relationship and everything, but he was still my dad and I still loved him. I'm so sorry for your loss. I know how it is to lose a father. And if you haven't watched my grief and grieving video, I would definitely encourage you to check that out. He got really sick in 2009 and never really got better. Around 2011, my mother started acting out almost because she wasn't happy with their marital situation. And even now that she's gone, she's still doing it. And recently she met a guy, and I feel like suddenly, as if I wasn't already in a position of having far too much responsibility for a 17-year-old, everything is on my shoulders. She goes out all night, does these irresponsible things, and then when someone says anything about it, she gets so defensive and starts attacking. I'll try to explain to her why I get insulted when she stops talking to me out of nowhere, and she'll call him, and suddenly I become rude and judgmental, overbearing child that wants her alone for the rest of her life and to never become happy because all she does is bend over backwards for me and I give nothing in return. And part of it is my fault because I spent most of my life shielding her from my emotions so she'd have it easier. And now, even if I try to discuss this with her, she can't deal with it. I mean, I don't think I'm asking for too much. I just want her to start acting like my mom again. How do I bring this up, and how do I cope with this guy that's entering my life? Should I go back to seeing my therapist regularly about it? It's all happening so fast, and I need some kind of help. I wanted to read it all because I know lots of us have situations like this where, to be honest, this is what's happening here is that we're the parentified child. Like the person that wrote this was saying, like, I have way too much responsibility for a 17-year-old. And that is so true. And it's really hard for us to get out of that cycle of being the parent, the parentified child. Do you kind of get the term? So I would definitely go to therapy. Please, please, please call your therapist right away and start setting up regular sessions because you do need some kind of help and you need some support. And something that really has to happen for us to get out of that role is to stop the family dance, as I like to call it. Like when we talk about systems and the way families work, it's like we're all dancing together. Like maybe we're doing the salsa. I don't know, but we're doing a dance together, right? And it's all working together. We're all working together. And but if one person gets out of step, it messes the whole thing up and it can be really stressful. But working with a therapist and working through this, we'll find our own steps. We'll find our own music and we can dance on our own while still being aware of our family, but we don't have to keep in that cycle. I hope that makes sense. But therapy will really help. And make sure you just tell them what you told me and they'll help work you through it. Okay, everyone, I hope that this was helpful. I love you all. Tomorrow's Thursday, so I'll be on Twitter. So ask your questions using the hashtag KatieFAQ, and I will see you then. Bye.